Hey guys, I wanted to go over, I was getting some requests about the default cover, or three-point cover, and some of the mechanics about it, so I thought we'd go over it and talk about the whys and wherefores. What we're talking about is a default defensive move that helps me to survive that initial point of contact. When the fight touches off and I have to recover, I'm kind of at a deficit in terms of initiative. I didn't get to start it, and for whatever reason, I didn't see it coming until it was too late. It may be an argument that escalated very quickly, or it could be a situation where I was having an argument with the person in front of me, and then I get blindsided, and it's just time to go, and I don't have a lot of time to choose any tactics, hence the term default. It goes by a lot of names. I'll be using the term that I learned when I first learned about this technique, which is the helmet, which I learned from Paul Sharp. But it's been called three-point cover. Some people call it a default cover. And you'll see variations of this in a lot of different martial arts. But the way that we do it, we can actually apply it based on how we train it. So let's look at the mechanics of what we're talking about. From an interview stance or from my fence, I've got my hands up and in between me and my opponent, and something comes in. As it does, my instinct is going to be to flinch, to protect myself, and to try and cover and survive that initial blow. My hands are going to come up in a shelling type motion, although instead of putting my hands here, I'm actually going to bring one hand behind my head very tight and the other hand in. If my chin is down and my shoulders are hunched as I crash, I've got one point right in the front here. When I teach this in kids like bully-proof programs, we call it the rhinoceros horn. So they bring it up, and this is crashing in. As it does, I'm going to move into the danger, into the threat. I'm trying to get inside the arc of their swing, especially since I'm not sure whether or not, if this touched off that quickly, I'm not sure what they have in their hand or if they have something in their hand, and I'm trying to recover as quickly as possible. So I want to get inside the arc, so if it was a blade or some kind of stabbing implement, I don't get it in the neck. I'm moving inside, and I'll be able to move into control. So again, from this position where my hands are up and I'm trying to de-escalate, when things touch off, my hands are coming up, everything's moving in, and I'm stepping into the threat. The thing is that if I could hit him first, I would have. If I knew it was a threat, I wouldn't have let that touch off. But most fights start in here. We're arguing, and I'm trying to manage this from this position in here. So there's not a lot of time for me to react or intercept. And even if I did hit him as his punch was coming in, it's still going to nail me. So I've got very little place to work in here. Also, whatever I do to him, I'd like for it to hurt him. And it needs to put me in a position where I can take control of his pressure, of what's going on, and start shutting him down if he's trying to access tools, or if I've got tools on me and he's trying to access them. I need to move into a clinch control position. Opening up space, if he wings a shot as I'm in the middle of an argument and he throws a punch here and it hits, bang! Me opening up space is just going to allow him to come forward and generate momentum, and moving backward, I run the risk of tripping over things, of moving into, pinning myself up against the wall, or into another attacker. So instead I need to move into the threat. So if you can move it a little closer. As we're here arguing and he decides to wing a punch in, I'm covering and I'm crashing right down the middle here. I'm going to step down just like if you were sitting into a right straight. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to impale him center mass with the elbow here. The nice part is if I go center mass, it's ambidextrous, so it doesn't really matter what side he loads up. I'm not attacking if he throws a right hand. I'm not moving towards the arm. I'm moving right into him. So straight punch, hook line, uppercut, doesn't really matter. Left, right, even a headbutt for that matter. I'm not actually attacking into him. As he goes to throw something, everything comes in and I'm crashing right down the middle. Once I make impact, and this is important, I need to take control of the pressure. Move in just a little bit. So at the point when he steps in and throws this, I'm not going to hit and then back up, because if you watch real fights, there's never this neutral space where we're both just standing up exchanging. There's always pressure. And if I'm outside my weight class, I can't put myself in a position where he can start using his weight to his advantage. So the moment that we make that impact, boom, here, I'm driving. And in my system, we go into, in the Red Zone Prime program, we go into an underhook and collar tie and drive and create pressure. if he does something to get in the way of that, so off of my initial crash as he throws that shot and I hit, boom, and I spike here, if he just kind of puts a hand on my head and kind of posts out and I can't tie up, that's when we have to get into some striking options until we can regain control of position and pressure. So just to tie it up one more time, from my position here, whatever I'm using as my fence is my way of controlling that midline space in the pre-contact or pre-physical areas of the fight. Once the threat happens, it could even be from the side, and I see it coming, I steer into the damage and I cover and crash until I can tie on. So if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me either through Facebook, or you can go on the website, you can contact us there, and thanks for watching. You could make me saying into a drinking game.